So yes, hello everyone. Welcome to our first live stream after the US elections. There's a few things that I can promise to you, right? I promise you that you don't know how good you are, and you're about to realize how good you actually are. Because the market conditions that you have been trading within for the past, I'd say, 3 or so months, right? There are a few of you who've been doing very well, a few of you it's been hard, but don't worry, it's about to get really easy, right? As you guys can see, right, and you in your charts, right, everything that happened, even every move that took place in the marketplace was a result of what? A crack in correlation. That's the main thing that we've been focusing on. Why is that? Is that the only thing that's there? No, but that is the base of everything here, right? Without a crack in correlation, you do nothing. Without a crack in correlation, you're on the sidelines, right? That's basically what it is. It's not hard to know what price is going to do. It's not hard to have an idea of what price is going to do. I think it's better that I say it that way. It's extremely easy, right? If you look, within the charts, and obviously there were some times when there were, someone here, right, within the group that was just spreading the information like wildfire, which is why I believe like 3 months ago we had to tone down a bit, but we're back and we're better. And obviously most of you guys are, at your peak. Well, I wouldn't say at your peak, but at your peak, for the time that you've been within this group. Because you have so much information. Most of you guys are doing well. Most of you guys are, still passing your challenges, having successful trades, even when you're not supposed to be trading, which I don't have a problem with, right? It's you, whatever you want to do, you do. Right? You want to trade in the Asian session, you can. You want to trade during election, you want to trade during non-farm payroll. Manage your risk if you can. Go for it, right? But the worst thing that can happen is that you learn a lesson. If you realize that they don't say you lose a trade or you blow your account, you just learn a lesson, which nothing is wrong with. Right? You can bounce back from anything at all. So just don't fear to be wrong. Don't fear to make mistakes. Make them. You gotta make them early. So yes, price is about to get really, really clean. It's already clean in my opinion. It was clean before, right? Most of our analysis is, has come to fruition, literally, like the FX triad, the Forex, the FX triad, which is the Forex market triad, the futures market triad, and the Bitcoin, or I say the crypto duel. What is that? Just comparing Bitcoin to Ethereum, right? So everything that we expected to happen happened. There was nothing that was off. We expected the S&P 500 and the euro to literally just rip in separate directions, right? And you have to pay attention to everything that I say, right? There's nothing that is just, is something that should go over your head. Even if I just point to this high, if I just speak, because I'm the type of person that, I don't get overly excited, even though most times I know what's going to happen. As you guys know, right? It's not boasting or anything, but you guys know. I will not be overexcited. It wouldn't, even when it happens, sometimes I don't even pay attention to it, right? Because this is something that you must expect. This is something that we always do. That's what we do here, right? We don't play around here, right? We understand that price is not random. We know that. We understand what should happen before price reverses. We understand what will validate a reversal within price action. It's not hard. You all know that. If you're not making money, it's time to do so. It's time to take the training wheels off, right? And begin to actually trade. Leave the demo account alone if, you can just start with a small account, very smaller account, right? Or just buy a challenge, or prop firm or whatnot. Test yourself. Some of you here, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself, right? That's the only thing. So again, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. I'm telling you, you're great analysts, but you just lack, the ability to control yourself. You just lack your, risk management skills. And you need to focus on those things. It's not just about technical analysis, right? There's other things to it. With that being said, looking at the economic calendar, you can see that tomorrow, which is Thursday, we have FOMC, which comes 2 days after the US president was elected, which is Donald Trump, which is something that we've been talking about this since 2002, before we had, this mentorship right here. Anyways, let's go, and we will be looking at the FX triad. Not 2002, Daniel, 2022. Sorry, sometimes my accent is, I don't know. Anyways, here you guys can see a, example of how easy it is. And this is the reason why I have been using this analysis for, the past month or months. This is literally what it is. And remember what I have always said. The higher the time frame cycle, where the sequential SMT occurs within, the more price is bound to adhere to that sequential SMT. Here you can see we have sequential SMT between two separate years. Price has been extremely bullish. There has barely been any pullbacks for the US dollar. And it does not matter what anything else does. It does not matter what the futures triad does, because right now we have, a decoupling occurring between the futures triad and the FX triad. Right? Why is this happening? Obviously, if you guys have been listening, that's a sign that we're about to get clean markets. We're about to get volatility. Price is going to consolidate for a bit, and then you'll have manipulation. You have sequential SMT. You have your position point. You have your SMT fill, and then price will just continue about this way. So here, it's nothing hard to understand, right? We have sequential SMT here. Price became bullish. We had sequential SMT here. Price became bearish, right? We were not worried when price was right here, when price was going up right here. We definitely was not worried. Right? Here, price traded above this high, and we expected the British pound to lag, just as how it is right now. Right? Here, my friends. So this was the result so far. This is the result so far, for the elections, right? We had the elections, right? And some people, believe the price is random. We don't believe that price is random. Here we have sequential SMT, right, which falls under the doubling theory. So we have SMT between October and November, right? Also, we look at the smaller sequential SMT here and the other things that, gave rise to this expansion. So the first thing that we expected was what? Price to drop. When did we say we would expect price to rally higher? When? or under which conditions if we had sequential SMT here. Here you can see that we have sequential SMT, which price gravitated towards. Why did price gravitate toward this high, these highs? Why? Tell me why. The magneto effect. You know about this, right? So whenever you have, and you already know this, right? Whenever you have a sequential SMT which is larger, right, means there's more candles between this sequential SMT than this one, there will be a fast reversal, especially when you have a precision swing point, which is here. Also, if you guys remember, right, during the week, what did I say? Even when I have been saying that you shouldn't be doing anything, right? We still was on the right track, right? I came when I believe Tuesday made, what was it? When Monday made a low of the week, I think I commented on Tuesday. Said and basically said that the low of the week was in before elections. Then what happened? Price followed suit. The low of the week was not touched. It was not challenged at all. Price didn't even come, just pull back on it or anything. It just continued higher for all-time highs. So here, this model, what do you use? Because this is a model in itself. It's just that I'm not going to just, write it down and just give it to you like that. You must understand why it works, and you must see it working. And I have to speak about it, speak about the movement of price beforehand, or else I can't talk about it. And if I'm wrong, I'll wait the next time, because if I am wrong, most of the times, for some reason, most of you will lose hope, which is why I have to make sure that I'm cherry picking, the movement beforehand. Of course, it's not easy. Of course, it's not easy. But this is what I have to do, right? So first of all, everything here is specific, right? Sequential SMT between months, which means it could be between January and February, February and March, and so on, right? You need the daily time frame. So remember, we talked about sequential SMT between quarterly theory. Now we're talking about doubling theory. So the daily time frame for the months, daily precision swing point, when you fall down to the lower time frames, if you have sequential SMT between quarterly theory, which means the quarterly cycles, then you have price even in your favor even more. But in my opinion, you don't need more than three things, which is, the daily time frame, sequential SMT between the months of the year, and a precision swing point, daily precision swing point. Here, you guys can clearly see, and I believe that it was Tuesday. If I am not wrong, I'll check to make sure that I am not. Let me see. So it wasn't Tuesday. It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, before election was over. Oh, yesterday was Tuesday. Oh my God. Sorry about that. So yes, it was Tuesday when we expected price to continue high. We called the low of the week. We said the low of the week was in due to the fact that we had sequential SMT here, right? There's two types of sequential SMT here, right? We have sequential SMT between the previous. Here you have the previous month's quarter, right? And here you have the current month's quarter. Also, we have sequential SMT hidden sequential SMT, right, between Friday and Monday. Here as well, you see this wick barely traded below here. We would not look at that. We would be focused on the closures. Right? Yes, day doesn't know the day of the week. It's just that thing, right? That's life. Yeah. Barely getting to sleep. You got to be working at the same time and whatever. So you have here, same thing as the E-mini S&P. For the Dow, price took this low out, aggressively rallied higher. Remember, we talked about the low the week before this expansion occurred, before the president was elected, before the high was ran through. It's not a coincidence, right? It's not a mistake that we had sequential S&P right before this occurred, right? It's not. The only reason why it may be hard sometimes, unless you get below here to be trading within this area, is the spreads, right? They will fluctuate, right? If you're trading CFDs. So here you can see that we had SMT fill as well. And then just price expanding higher. You have to pay attention to these symmetrical highs right here. Right? So there's two ways that you will have consolidation, manipulation, expansion, aggressive expansion. Right? Well, one of the expansions will be more aggressive, and that's this one where you have a cracking correlation here at the low, could be at the high, but for now we're just focusing on this leg of price action. Right? Cracking correlation between the low, none of the highs right here. Right? So here's symmetrical price action, here unsymmetrical price action. You'll see price expand a lot, but if this was just a SMT here and a SMT here, which would produce the magnitude effect, we wouldn't get a movement like this, right? So yes, price is prone to grab liquidity above or below SMT, lows or highs, and reverse. But whenever you have these types of highs, which are symmetrical, you usually get price just below right through. Usually. Here, you guys can see Bitcoin, against Ethereum. Price did exactly what we expected it to do, which was take all-time highs. Ever since the formation of this candle, we've been talking about this right here, right? Again, you can see we have a certain correlation between this high and this high right here. Same thing here. Ethereum failed to take this high. Bitcoin took this high, it took the all-time high again. Ethereum failed to do so. What does that tell us? It tells us that there is an underlying weakness within the crypto market. So people are looking at Bitcoin and they expect some Bitcoin to just be pulling everything up, but that's not how it goes, right? For the crypto market to just remain bullish, and remember, we're not being a bear, we're not being a bull or anything right now. We're just using the things that we know about to give us a bias in regards to price action, right? We talked about price taking this high. We were not overly excited about it, as you shouldn't be in regards to anything, in regards to the marketplace. You should always be calm and collective. Most of the times you shouldn't really care that much, right? Anyways, so price was drawn to this high. Still, we have Ethereum very far away from this high, which was a failure swing that was going for this high right here. It's still below the 50% of this range, which gives us a reason to expect price to just play around and return back within this range here, right? So you could see price push a bit higher, then return back within the range. Based off of here, we have the clocking correlation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So here, if you guys can remember, this specific fair value gap and this precision swing point that we talked about, right, which was the beginning of this movement right here. We expected higher prices. We expected this side to be taken out along with this one and all-time high. Right here is a pattern, which, it's a very technical entry pattern that most would not be able to understand, right? So here, what do we have here? We have, first of all, we had SMT here. Was it sequential? No, it wasn't. It doesn't need to be if you have this confirmation afterwards, right? So this pattern right here is a confirmation pattern for SMTs that are not sequential. So here we had SMT, right? So price failed to break below this low right here. Here it did so. Remember, we were already bullish, right? And not specifically bullish on anything else but Bitcoin, right? This right here is just a tiny move, right, in comparison to where it's currently at. So here, price took this low out, after which we had this gap form, then price broke above this high. Here, price took this low out, as it did here, failed to break above this high, closed within this gap. Here, price did not come here. So there are two things that are here, the main two things, right? And of course, it came after the most important thing, was just the SMT. So we had SMT, and then we had a SMT market structure shift, which followed by what? It's followed by a SMT fill. Do you understand? So let's go over it. SMT, SMT shift, SMT fill, and expansion. So it's within these types of, conditions where you would see an asset fail to break below the breaker, right? When we broke above the breaker, so this right here is what? An actual, what ICT would call a breaker, if it continuously worked the way he thought it, right? So this is high probability, of course. So right here, so again, SMT shift. What is that? Here, price broke above this high. Here, it did not break above this high. Price traded back within this gap. The gap was filled. Here, price did not trade back within this gap. Immediately after, we got price to expand. So I hope that you found this useful. And yes, that is a specific sequence. Let's say it again. And if you realize there's usually three main things that you should look for. And if you realize again, we don't really talk about higher time frame gaps that much, which of course you can use those things for, to better your analysis. But right now we're just looking at things based off time, since you already know those things. Right? It's very obvious if you have sequential SMT within a higher time frame gap, you should expect reversal. But here we're looking at the times when we don't have that. Right? Using the analysis that we already talked about before. We expected the price to go higher. It did so. Now we're looking at why it did so. So I believe that this was a successful stream. I hope that you guys, found this useful. And until the next time, study well and good luck and good trading. Ciao.